Hey guys, so today I'm going to do a get ready with me for just an everyday look. First we're going to start out with primer, and we're going to do Time Bomb by The Balm. I got this on Haute Look when it was half off. I actually am just going to do a little bit of MAC Fix Plus first, just a little bit of a spritz. I like to put a little bit extra in the middle of my face just because that spot does get a little bit oily. Okay, and then I'm going to do my eye primer now too, and today we're going to use the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion. Just get that all over the lid and down to the inner corner. A little bit under the eye as well. Okay, so now that we're all primed, we're going to do our foundation. Today I'm going to use the Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundation. I just got a little sample of it. I'm hoping to get a full size soon. This is the shade 125. I think it might be a little bit dark, but it should be fine with my powder. Maybe a little bit on a damp beauty blender. And then just tap it on the face. I'm just going to do a little bit more foundation now that I had to fix my contacts. Just do it a little bit in the center of my face. A little bit kind of didn't really translate well on my beauty blender. I have to always blend a little bit more between my eyebrows because that's where my foundation tends to stick to my dry spots. Okay, now we're going to move on to concealer. Today I'm going to use the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in 15 Fair. This is my favorite concealer right now. I do use the NARS a little bit, but I have Custard right now, and I like this one because it also brightens up a little bit. The NARS one is kind of more like my skin tone, so it doesn't really brighten. It just conceals. So I'm going to do a triangle under the eye, a little bit on my nose, a little bit on in these spots right there, and then just a little bit all over the face. And then again, I'm going to use my beauty blender to blend it all in. I like using the pointed side under the eye to try to get, it's just more of a precision, and also it keeps it away from my contacts a little bit more. Okay, and now we're going to move on to powder. Today we're going to use the Tarte Amazonian Clay Full Coverage Airbrush Foundation in Fair Light Neutral. I like this because it has a little net instead of the typical plastic sifter, so it's a little bit easier to get product out. And then to blend it in today, I'm going to use a nice fluffy brush. This is the Morphe S19. I think it's one of the vegan ones. It's just nice and fluffy, not too dense, which is good for this foundation, since it is full coverage. First I just get a little bit of product, well, quite a bit of product on the face, and then I'll go back and look in the mirror to blend it out. Alright, so now we're going to move on to a little bit more contouring and highlighting mainly under the eyes. I'm going to use the NYX Highlight and Contour Pro palette. I love this. I haven't tried another contour palette. I think I'm going to try out the Anastasia powder one, but as of right now, I love this, so no reason to get another one. So for highlight, I'm going to use this Vasanti flat foundation brush. I got this in a BoxyCharm. I don't use it for foundation because I don't like using foundation brushes like this. I prefer using a beauty blender for foundation. I'm actually going to use the whole top row. I'm going to mix these 3 shades on the right side first, and I'm just going to pat it under the eye. I'm also going to do it in other spots that I did use concealer, just as like an extra bit of setting powder. And I'm going to use that same Morphe brush I used to buff in my foundation to just go over those spots to get any loose powder away. Alright, and then I'm going to use that white shade in the palette to just highlight my under eyes. Once again, just buff away any loose powder. Okay, and then to contour today, I'm going to use that same palette. I'm going to use this third shade in right there. I think it's the lightest shade in there. It's perfect for winter since I am getting more pale. And to do that, I'm going to use the Tarte, I think it's the Swirling Perfecting Brush. It doesn't have the name on it, but it's easy to find. I got it when Tarte was doing their, I think it was 7 items for like 59 bucks. You got to choose like a brush, a makeup bag, lip sturgeons, the foundation I got, and a blush. I think that's it. Oh, and a mascara. So I'm just going to do this in the hollows of my cheeks, along my forehead. I like this brush because it's fluffy but dense, so it like, I don't know, it's more fluffy than dense, but this is kind of a mixture of both. It puts it on perfectly, and just, you don't need to do too much buffing out, but just so it's not super strong, I'm going to use the Morphe E31 brush to buff it all in. I believe this is a foundation brush. It's from their Elite collection. I love it for buffing because it's very dense. And to highlight my nose, I'm going to use this Real Techniques Deluxe Crease Brush. It's a very dense, it's the perfect size for highlighting my nose. I'm going to go in that same shade I used to highlight the cheeks and the forehead. Just going to swoop down, kind of light motions. I don't want to press too hard, I don't want to get super dark contour. I'm going to buff it anyway. I just want to get a little bit of product, a little bit over right here to bridge it, and then I'm just going to go back in and buff it a little bit. This is a little bit of a big brush to be buffing the nose with, but it works. Okay, perfect. Alright, and now we're going to move on to bronzer. Today I'm going to use the Tarte Amazonian Clay Waterproof Bronzer in Park Avenue Princess. I got this with my Ipsy points, so it was free. This isn't the full size, but it's a pretty good sample size. And to put it on, I'm going to use the Morphe E4 brush. This is just a fluffy, angled brush. I like this bronzer because it has a little tiny bit of sparkle to it. It's not too dark at all. It's very light. I'm just going to put it on the cheekbones, like almost in the same spot I did my contour. And then I gotta buff it out. So I did a little bit of a heavy application. So I'm going to use that same Morphe brush. Alright, now we're going to go on to blush. Today I'm going to use the Cargo Powder Blush in Mendocino. I probably am butchering that. Like, it's a nice dark color. I use a very, very light application, but it's a gorgeous color. It lasts all day. To apply, I'm going to do the Crown IB126 Chiseled Blush Brush. It's just like the perfect size. It's pretty big. It's nice and tapered. I love it. Very light, because it also is, it's very, very pigmented. As you can see. I'm just going to go kind of in a very light motion and blend it out. I am probably going to go back in with the blending brush again as well. Trying to get the good lighting in here. This blush is definitely a little bit darker than blushes I normally use, but I really like the way it goes with my skin tone. It goes with a lot of different eye looks as well. Buff it out a little bit. we're going to go in with highlight. I like to do a cream highlight to set my, so I can use a powder to set it so the highlight lasts a little bit longer. Today I'm going to use the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector Spotlight in Opal. This is a liquid highlight. So I just apply it to the tops of my cheekbones, a little bit on my forehead, at the top of my nose, down the bridge of my nose, and a little bit on my Cupid's bow. Then I'm going to take my beauty blender and just pat it in a little bit. Not too much, because I don't want to like buff it in completely to lose all the shine. And then to set that, I'm going to use the Anastasia Beverly Hills So Hollywood Illuminator. Love this one. I also have the Peach Nectar, but that one doesn't go as good with my skin tone. It's better for summer when I'm more tan. I'm going to use a Morphe M143 fan brush. I'm actually going to switch to a Real Techniques setting brush so I can get a little bit of a stronger highlight. Alright, I'm going to go do my brows off camera because they take a little bit longer, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so my brows are now done. I zoomed you in a little bit for my eyes. I'll just tell you what I used for my brows. Now that my brows are done, I zoomed you in so I can do my eyes. So for my brows today, I did use the Anastasia Brow Wiz in chocolate. And then over that, I did use the NYX Tame and Frame Brow Pomade in brunette. And to apply that, I did use the Crown C225 mini liner brush. This is the perfect size for brows. And then to set it all, I use the Cella Eyebrow Defining Gel. Okay, so to start out my eyes, I'm going to use a base. Today I'm going to use the NYX eyeshadow base in Skin Tone. And to apply it, I'm going to use a Lamier flat top eyeshadow brush. I got this in an Ipsy bag a while back. Just going to get this mainly right on the lid and a little bit up to the brow bone. And for eyeshadow today, I'm actually going to use my Z palette. It is full of, let's see, Anastasia, a couple Makeup Geek, and then Morphe shadows. Pretty much all nude shadows, except for a couple. Let's see. So to set the, I'll find the red brush. Right, yeah. So to set the eye base, I'm going to use the Anastasia eyeshadow in Soft Peach. And to highlight my brows today, I'm going to use the Anastasia So Hollywood Illuminator. And I'm going to use a e.l.f. Professional Eyeshadow Brush. I got this in a cheap set somewhere. I think from TJ Maxx. And then for the transition shade, I'm actually going to use Anastasia Orange Soda. Just put that in the wrong direction. And to apply it, I'm going to use a Morphe E17 brush. This shade is almost my skin tone, so it's not really not really sure what's going on there. It's not really a darker transition shade, but we're doing a pretty neutral eye today, so. Alright, and then for the crease, we are going to do Makeup Geek Latte, which I find is very similar looking to Anastasia Fawn. I'm going to probably do a dupe post on my blog, maybe a dupe video soon. I think I'm going to compare those two to each other. And to apply it, I'm going to use the Luxie 205 tapered blending brush. It's a little bit bigger of a brush than I usually use for my crease, but this look doesn't need to be really perfect. And I'm going to, since it's tapered, it actually does work pretty good. And very light strokes to build up the color. Okay. Now we're going to move on to the lid color. I'm actually going to do two different shades. I might mix them. I'm going to apply them with, let's see, I'm going to do this Royal and Langnickel medium eye shader brush. I got it in a Ipsy bag. I'm going to spray a little bit of Fix Plus on it. After I spray Fix Plus on my brushes, I usually rub them between my fingertips just to make sure there's not too much. Alright, and for the shadow, the first one, I'm going to do it mainly towards the outer lid. We're going to do Bronzed Ivy from Morphe. I'm really just going to pack this on the outer lid. Alright, then we're just going to flip the brush over to the clean side, and we are going to go in with, if I can pick it up, Pink Moscato from Morphe. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous color. I'm going to pack that in the inner lid. I'm actually going to bring that down into the inner corner as well. We are going to do another shade in our inner corner to add a little bit more brightness, but this is a good starter. It's okay if it's a little bit messy because I usually clean things up a little bit with my Beauty Blender, the pointed side. It's perfect since it already has a little bit of foundation and concealer on it. The pointed side can just get in those areas. Just going to clean up that area. Okay, now we're going to go back in with a little bit more of our crease shade, which was Latte from Makeup Geek. You can bring it a little bit higher up too if you'd like. It's all up to you because I know some people don't like to do that. Okay. And now we're going to deepen the outer V area, and we are going to use Creme Brulee from Morphe. And to do that, let's see, what brush am I going to use? I'm going to use my MAC 217 brush. Again, we're just going to keep building up that color to really deepen the look, especially the outer crease. If you want, you can tack on a little bit more of that Bronzed Ivy shade if you want. I think I'm going to do a little bit more, not too much, just to really define the color a little bit more. And then we are going to finish off the top lid with, let's see, this is Glisten from Morphe. We're going to pat it a little bit on the inner lid and then bring it back down into the inner corner as well. And we're going to use a Real Techniques base shadow brush. This is kind of just to brighten up the Pink Moscato a little bit. Okay. And now we are going to move on to the lower lash line. I'm going to use the Morphe E36, and I'm going to take some of the Makeup Geek Latte and just bring it all under the bottom lash line. And now to deepen up the outer area of the lower lash line, we're going to take the Creme Brulee shade from Morphe. not too far in. Like, we're not doing halfway, probably just about a quarter. Then we're going to take a Morphe M441 brush to blend it, just so it's not too dark. And then I'm going to take a Real Techniques accent brush just to take a little bit more of that glisten shade to really brighten up the inner corner. And then I think I'm gonna, let's see, for eyeliner, I usually use my ColourPop gel liners, and I'm going to use Overboard. I'm going to apply that to my waterline. I'm going to leave the upper lash line free of eyeliner. Okay, and to finish off the eyes, I'm going to use my Benefit They're Real mascara. I think I'm going to apply 2 coats this today, maybe. Actually, 1 might be good. This mascara usually works fine with 1 coat for me. I do have naturally long eyelashes, so that helps. I actually think I am going to add a little bit more inner corner highlight. I'm going to use the Kat Von D Metal Crush eyeshadow in Thunderstruck. This is the perfect inner corner highlight. I haven't used it as a cheek highlight, but I think I might actually try that out soon. I also noticed this highlight lasts like all day. It lasted through a whole work shift for me last night. Okay, and I'm just going to figure out what I'm going to do for lips, and then I'll come back. So for lips today, I'm going to start out with my NYX lip liner in Peekaboo Neutral. And for the lip color, I'm going to use ColourPop Ultra Matte Lip in Tulle. This is probably my favorite of the original colors. I find it lasts a little bit longer. Okay, and then to finish off the whole look, I'm going to use my Tarte Miraculous Maracuja setting spray. Alright, so that's it for this video. If you liked it, please hit the subscribe button down below. I'll have a list of all the products used in the info bar. And until next time then, thanks for watching.